Band-Aid gang. Salute to the family. I'm C-Dub, Mr. I ain't said a word, but you know what I'm saying, and I say it damn. And I'm with in my live. We got two in the building. Make sure y'all double tap the screen. Thank y'all for all the likes from our last video that we did. We did very well on the likes. That keeps the video in the algorithm. So we ask that you hit the like button, double tap the screen. Now we also got some breaking news. You know what I'm saying, everybody? So shouts out to all the late nighters in the building. Yeah, you know how we do. We always give some knowledge and some brain food when we come up on here and we rock shows. This is Band-Aid Gang. So we already know that Pam Bondi, she on the chopping block. She gonna give up everything. And it was some things that Kash Patel had. But we got some breaking news on what happened on Zorro Ranch. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me, Band-Aid Gang. Straight to it. We got two in the building. Look at the chat if y'all can hear me. Thank you very much. Thank y'all for joining. Now we finna punchline and show you some real stuff like I always do. I try to, give my people some brain food and some knowledge when I get on this line on this YouTube. So y'all get in here. So we're gonna go ahead and start rocking this show, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all some things. Let's get ready to rock out.
So before you joined the FBI, you railed against it for covering up Jeffrey Epstein's human trafficking ring. Let me refresh your memory with this clip.
It has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed.
So if you're there and you paid attention to Kash Patel, right? So these are the things they're hiding. So we clearly know that these people are hiding something, gang. These people have been hiding things. So I'm going to bring it back.
Refresh your memory with this clip.
It has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of...
He clearly shakes his head and says, yep. Yep. He clearly shakes his head and says, yeah. So clearly, we already know that the DOJ has been hiding. There's clear proof by you seeing this man just shake his head saying yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Refresh your memory with this clip.
It has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do.
Did y'all see that? He said you're protecting the world's foremost predator. He shakes his head and he says yes. Double tap the screen, y'all. He shakes his head and says yes. This is not making any sense. So let's go, gang.
Regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list, why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast,
now listen to what he said.
Largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
What?
So you finished that?
Simple, because who's on that list? Simple. So it's clearly that they hiding something, Band-Aid Gang. Double tap the screen. You see them in pure sight. So, yes, what are they hiding? Let's go.
December 2023 interview with the challenge to the FBI and harsh words for Republicans in Congress for not getting the Epstein files out to the public. You can see this clip.
Boy pants, and let us know who the pedophiles
Hey, gang,
are.
how you doing? I see you.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are, you said. You emphasized that the president and FBI director each had complete authority to release Epstein's client list. You said Epstein's black book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. Look at this clip.
This is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black book?
black book?
FBI.
But who? That is, that I mean,
Well, that's under direct control of the director of
Cut
the
the
FBI.
crap, gang.
Okay, so you were sworn in as director more than 200 days ago. Now the black book is under your direct control.
Exactly.
So why haven't you released the names of Epstein's co-conspirators in the rape and sex trafficking of young women and girls?
The Rolodex, which is what everybody colloquially refers to as the Black Book, has been released.
Oh, no, you're talking about what the journalist got 5 years ago? No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what you were talking about there.
That's
the black
exactly
book under the direct control of the FBI director.
We have released more material than anyone else before. The Biden administration, Obama administration had the exact opportunities to release this material, and they never did. And if you are selling the men and women of the FBI, we're not going after child predators.
And this is part of the reason that I say they all in it together, because think about it. He said Obama and them had it too. They could have released it too. This is why I say all of these people are under an oath. They all do an oath. Pay attention to what Kash said. He did say Obama, they had it.
Which is what everybody colloquially refers to as the Black Book, has been released.
Oh, no, you're talking about what the journalist got 5 years ago? No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what you were talking about there, the Black Book under the direct control of the FBI director.
We have released more material than anyone else before. The Biden administration, Obama administration had the exact opportunities to release this material, and they never did. And if you are selling the men and women of the FBI, we're not going after child predators. Hang on, you said we're not going after child predators. 1,500 child predators arrested this year, 35% increase.
I'll reclaim my time.
4,700 child victims.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to reclaim my time if you could instruct the witness. Well, why have you changed your position? There you were saying it's under the direct control of the FBI director and all of it should be released. Why did you change your position?
Everything that has been lawfully permitted to be released has been released. And as I told you,
really?
The investigation was limited. And let me make something crystal clear. I never said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic other people, other women, and they're not other victims. This is the investigation we were given from 2008 and the search warrants from 2006, 7, and 8. That's what we're working with.
Wait, have you released all of the stuff that the FBI has seized from Epstein's house? The computers, the emails, the file cabinets, the documents? What about the financial records? Have you released all of that?
Everything the court has allowed us to release.
Which court are you talking about?
3 separate federal courts have come in and said...
We're talking about the evidence you've got. It's got nothing to do with what those courts have.
Do you have any idea how the law works?
Wait,
do you want me to break the law in a federal judge's order?
No, I want you to follow your own word, Director Patel. You said up there it was under the direct control of the FBI director. He had the Black Book.
Everything I have direct control over, we have gone to court. You haven't.
Complete your sentence. Everything you have direct control over, you said.
Have gone to court, and everything we have direct control over.
Complete your sentence. You said everything.
Release. We're releasing.
He'd like to complete his answer.
You began the sentence, everything you have direct control over, and then you stopped that sentence. You've released everything that you have direct control over?
I have direct control over and can lawfully release. If you're not familiar with the court
that he has direct control over. Come on, gang. Let's go. They hold him back.
Orders. That's not my fault.
Oh, I'm perfectly,
look at them.
I'm perfectly familiar with them. But how did we prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell?
She was prosecuted with the investigatory material that was collected from 2001 and 2005 because of the non-prosecution agreements and the court orders on the investigations and search warrants. We were not able to develop new information. And oh, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein was out for 12 years and the Obama and Biden administration did nothing to look at his work, his pedophile network. If you want to blame me, that's fine. But now you're blaming the men and women who conducted this
stop that. I'm not blaming anybody other than you. You're not keeping your word. You said that you would release all of the materials.
Has anyone released more information on Epstein than I have? Has anyone?
Much more.
Did Comey? Did Ray?
Much more. Excuse me. Much more has come out in the days since the American people in Congress have been demanding it. But it's coming out in dribs and drabs. Why don't you just release the entire file as you promised to do?
I literally just told you there are multiple federal court orders. I'm not going to break the law to satisfy your curiosity. Release the court orders. You could have. You have lawyers. You could have shown up. You didn't do that.
That's a tiny fraction of the material we're talking about.
It is not. It is a tiny fraction. How do you know that? Have you seen everything?
It's all misdirected.
How do you know that?
The House Oversight Committee voting today to subpoena Attorney General Pam Bondi. Lawmakers want her to answer questions about the Justice Department's handling of files related to Jeffrey Epstein. 5 Republicans joined ranks with Democrats to support the subpoena. NBC News reached out to the DOJ for comment, but have yet to hear back.
What's happened at the party?
My dad kills babies and he eats the meat.
Okay, well, let's just talk about the party then, okay? So, the party, what was the party like?
I don't like the party.
Why not?
They touched me.
Who?
Kicked me, my front privates, they hurt me. So when they stick a big plaster in my bottom, and when it bleeds, if I cry, do you know those spaghetti spoons? Yeah, metal ones. If I cry, he hits me on the head with it.
Okay.
But if I cry more, he hits me again. But if I cry more, the nurse, very smart, she checks them, and then I sleep injection in my neck, and I fell asleep. So
And what's happened at the end of the party?
Now look, now you see that, gang. Kids don't just typically know that. So I want y'all to pay attention to something real quick. This is gonna be our foreplay, our sketch right here of what I believe is under this Epstein Zorro Ranch, y'all. So this is what I believe is under the Zorro Ranch. Something similar to this. But when you do pay attention to something, now I kind of sketched this out a little bit. Hold on. I want y'all to pay attention to this right here, Band-Aid gang. Y'all hit that like button. Let's get right to the meat and potatoes. We got 17 in the building. Double tap the screen, y'all. Let's run it up real quick.
So before you join the FBI.
So we're going to go ahead. 17 in the building. Y'all get in here. 14. So let's rock the show, y'all. So we got breaking news of what has went on, Band-Aid gang. We got 18 in here. Please double tap the screen. So let's go ahead and get to it, y'all. Let's go.
With this incredible new product, you finally get rid of the yellow bits between your teeth using high.
Let's go, gang. They finna get these people up. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
You're
this
from
is
a tiny,
pathetic.
beautiful
This is
state.
pathetic, Mr.
Committee
Chair.
will be in order.
I am not asking trick questions here. Yes or no? Has the Department of Justice talked to Deputy Secretary Feinberg about his ties
Double tap
to
that
Jeffrey
screen,
Epstein,
y'all.
which are clearly spelled out in the files? It's a very simple question. It's not a trick question. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, I'm stunned that you want to continue talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Epstein
Okay,
instead
I'm
of a
reclaiming my.
Of course you're stunned. You're on the chopping block. She's on the chopping block. She's stunned. Yeah, that's why you gotta go meet these people. You gotta go meet these people, Pam Bondi. Let's go. You gotta go.
I'm asking you not a trick question, a simple question. The American people have a right to know the answers to this. These are senior officials in the Trump administration. This is not a game, Secretary.
I'm Attorney General.
My apologies, I couldn't tell.
I want the record to reflect that, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted
Anti-Semitic?
against the resolution condemning.
Oh,
I just
want to be clear. Do you want to go there, Attorney General? Or do you want to go there? Are you serious? Talking about anti-Semitism to a woman who lost her grandfather in the Holocaust? Really?
The DOJ was literally spying
Y'all
on
get in
Congress
here.
members
Let's go,
while they
y'all.
reviewed the Epstein files, and Bondi used
Double
that
tap that
surveillance to attack the people asking questions. Like a mean girl who got called to the principal's office and decided to bring receipts on everyone else instead of answering for what she did. Watch what happens when Ballant finally has enough.
Attorney General Bondi, according to your department, a child is sexually abused in the United States every 9 minutes. And the vast majority of survivors never get justice. And that's one of the reasons why I think the Epstein case has resonated so deeply with so many Americans. And the other reason I think is because it has revealed a two-tiered system of justice. And the powerful are protected and the survivors rarely get any accountability. And the Epstein files contain evidence of a multi-decade international criminal conspiracy involving some of the wealthiest and the most powerful people in the world. There's evidence of financial crimes, political corruption, sex trafficking, and of course, horrible sexual abuse. And
why are they holding back? Why are they holding back? They already broke the law, and we talked about that yesterday. We showed the clips.
I want to remind everybody, this isn't a game. These are real people who have suffered, who are sitting here with us today, and they deserve answers, and they deserve accountability. And I'm here to try to get some for them. Now, I've seen some of the unredacted Epstein files. And obviously, as you know, President Trump's name is all over them, but so are the names of other senior Trump officials. Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce, John Phelan, the Secretary of the Navy, and Stephen Feinberg, the Deputy Secretary of Defense. These men were appointed by President Trump to senior positions in his administration. All of them have clear and confirmed ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Attorney General Bondi, yes or no, has the Justice Department asked Secretary Lutnick about his ties to Epstein?
Look at it. Watch.
Excuse me.
Look at the ball,
Secretary Lutnick has addressed those ties himself.
I'm asking you, has the Justice Department specifically asked Secretary Lutnick about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein?
He has addressed those ties himself.
Has the DOJ asked Secretary Phelan about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein?
I don't know whether he has addressed those or not.
Has the Deputy Secretary Feinberg talked to the Department of Justice about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein?
They lined her up, y'all. Y'all finna see in the next couple of days.
Has
They
the
lined
Department of
her
Justice
up,
talked to Deputy Secretary Feinberg about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, which are clearly spelled out in the files? It's a very simple question. It's not a trick question. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, I'm stunned that you want to continue talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Epstein
Okay,
instead
I'm
of a
reclaiming my
Border
time.
Patrol
I'm
agent
asking
murder.
you not a trick question, a simple
Done.
question. Okay, so what is clear is we have evidence.
Do you know
that
who Chris
three
Malin is?
senior.
Did you hear what she said? We have evidence. They already gonna line her up. See, what they doing is question her now, because when the big one come, it's over. When the big one comes, she gonna be just like Christy Knoll, packing up her bags, getting on up out of there. Trust and believe. The big one's coming. And who's next on the chopping block? Kash Patel, gang. Kash Patel, gang. Double tap the screen. Kash Patel, he next. It's the domino effect. Now, we do got some breaking news that we're going to show y'all, but we're going to ride through these clips.
We have evidence that three senior officials within the Trump administration have ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And what I can conclude from what you are saying that you have not talked to them.
What does ties mean?
I think Americans would be shocked to learn that you are not interested in talking.
I'm about to get ready to show y'all why.
Have ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
What they trying to hide?
Across the world,
prominent
men who've been exposed in the files have resigned their jobs in disgrace.
We're getting to the meat and potatoes,
that's a good
y'all.
first start.
Double tap the
and
screen.
that
19 in here.
this same standard should apply here. And Americans want accountability.
Who is Chris Malin?
Was the president aware? Please stop talking. It is not your time to ask questions. It is not your time. I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. Chair.
One second.
Time belongs to the gentlelady from Vermont.
Was the president aware of Secretary Lutnick's ties to Epstein when he chose him to lead the Department of Commerce? Was he aware?
Chris Malin was a Border Patrol agent.
Okay, so I'm going to conclude that the president, in fact, did know about his ties because he was the next door neighbor.
Shame on you.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
You're
this
from
is
a tiny,
pathetic.
beautiful
This is
state.
pathetic, Mr. Chair. I am not asking trick questions here. The American people have a right to know the answers to this. These are senior officials in the Trump administration. This is not a game, Secretary.
I'm Attorney General.
My apologies, I couldn't tell. By 2008,
Let's go,
we
gang.
knew
we got 26
that Epstein was a convicted sexual abuser. And we now know that Lutnick went to Epstein's Island in 2012. How was that not a deal breaker for the president? And why aren't you asking questions of the Commerce Secretary about what he saw when he was at the island, which he lied about not ever going to? Why are you not asking these questions?
Exactly.
And I see that my time is almost expired, so I will say this. Do the right thing, Attorney General. Meet with the survivors. They have been asking for a year. Meet with the survivors. Do the right thing. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.
Let's go, gang. Double tap the screen. We got 38 in the building. Let's run it up,
That'll be up to the gentleman, but
absolutely.
Thank you. I was
What's up,
curious
Richard? I see you,
if
gang.
you, Congresswoman,
everybody in the
asked
chat.
Bill Clinton that. Didn't see one tweet, not one. I didn't see one tweet when Joe Biden was in office about Bill Clinton. Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once when he was. Also, I want the record to reflect that, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution condemning.
He is Jewish. I just want to be clear.
Do you want to go there, Attorney General? Or do you want to go there? Are you serious?
Gentlemen
talking about anti-Semitism
Carolina,
to a woman who lost her grandfather in the Holocaust?
Let's go, gang. Double tap that screen. Now we about to break it down to y'all and bring y'all some new stuff. This is going to be breaking news, gang. And we're going to show y'all what's going on for right now for the people in America, gang. Please double tap that screen, people that just came in the building. We beg you to hit that like button. Double tap that screen, y'all. That keep the video in the algorithms. So now we got breaking news, y'all. We finally getting what we want to see, y'all. We finally getting it. We finally are getting there, gang. I told
Good
you
evening. Outside of the gates of Jeffrey Epstein's infamous Zorro Ranch near Stanley, New Mexico,
Let's go.
Hundreds of protesters gathered together demanding justice.
It's time.
13's Below Login reports.
I'm on this bus today in solidarity with women all over the world.
Diane McCash joined hundreds of supporters this national.
That's why I made this live. So now we about to get ready to go into Zorro Ranch. Let's go, gang.
Women's Day in the heart of Albuquerque before cars lined up for miles to make the journey to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's infamous Zorro Ranch, just south of Santa Fe.
As we are here to say our voices will be heard and we will be.
The ranch has been at the center of controversy, with many claiming Epstein sexually abused in traffic.
See, now people doing what they supposed to do. See, we didn't know. Now we know that there's people out here with boots on the ground, y'all. We got people with boots on the ground down there right now, y'all. Standing in front of there. So now they about to go ahead. They spending money. They finna go on the inside. It's going to be some things I want to show you.
Underage girls and women there.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
The family of one of Epstein's most prominent accusers, Virginia Giuffre, said their sister had faced abuse inside the walls of the ranch and demanded accountability through the release of all the Epstein.
So when she faced abuse on this ranch, why didn't they take action then? You see how much money and power that they have, that they stopped all of that? They should have immediately, if Johnny down the street raped a person, they going inside of the house and everything. They gave these people so much time to clean up Zorro Ranch, y'all.
Files.
But right here, hidden in plain sight, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell built something very different. A house of horrors. We're here to say that money and power do not buy you a different set of laws.
In February, New Mexico lawmakers created the Epstein Truth Commission, which aims to determine whether state officials appropriately investigated allegations of sexual abuse and trafficking at the ranch. Shortly after the commission was launched, the state's attorney general reopened a criminal investigation.
So right here, y'all see the shape of this? Y'all see the shape of this? This is pure underground, gang. There's something under this ranch. Now, they say they was doing all these operations, all these surgeries on these women. Do you think that this happened on top, inside of the house? No, it happened underground. So we want to know, and I think they should bring people in there on this investigation to make sure, double tap my screen, y'all, to make sure that they're covering everything in here. I'm sure it's trap doors. I'm sure it's bookshelves that move. There is tunnels under this Zorro Ranch, gang. Let's go.
Into the accusations, which had been closed since 2019.
Let's go.
And the fact that it's so isolated, it just makes me feel fearful, for the women that came here under false pretenses. And I'm just here in support of them and believing them.
Amanda Cisco joined several others in rebuilding a memorial outside of Zorro Ranch that organizers say was removed in the last week. Placing flowers at the site, Cisco says she wanted to commemorate the loss of the victim's freedom and childhood.
It feels like the death of innocence.
Now, somebody said in the chat, before I go to the next clip, somebody just wrote down in the chat, that should be the next investigation. Who's in the position of power inside the DOJ, FBI, whatever had charged them as well for crimes? Absolutely. I totally agree. I totally agree with you, gang. I totally agree with you. So as we continue, we got some real boots on the ground, gang. So we gonna go right here to my message just real quick, and we gonna show y'all some footage that y'all need to see right here, Band-Aid gang. So okay, we got 33 in the building, y'all. Double tap the screen while I get y'all ready for these next clips. We got 33 in the building.
Hang in there, y'all.
I was the first one to ever join the military in my family. When I got out, I knew that I wanted to.
New Mexico lawmakers on Monday passed legislation to launch a full investigation into what happened at Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch. The ranch, located about 30 miles south of Santa Fe, is where the late U.S. sex offender is accused of trafficking and sexually assaulting girls and women. The so-called Truth Commission seeks to identify ranch guests and state officials who may have known what was going on at the 7,600-acre property or taken part in alleged sexual abuse. It seeks testimony from survivors, and legislators are also urging local residents to testify. The Justice Department released millions of Epstein-related files that shed new light on activities at the ranch. The files reveal ties between Epstein and two former Democratic governors and an attorney general of New Mexico. Several civil suits accuse Epstein of sexually assaulting girls at Zorro Ranch, locally known as the Playboy Ranch.
Did y'all
He was
hear
never
that?
charged.
Locally known as what? The Playboy Ranch. It's clearly, for the eyes can see, that there is something underground under this ranch. Just how it's built. You can tell that there is a underground, and that stretches. And you know who lived right down the street? 30 minutes away was Gene Hackman's house. Gene Hackman lived 30 minutes away. I'm sure that these connect, and they also connect to Tom Ford. So if they're calling this the Playboy Ranch, right? We already talked about the Playboy symbol being a bunny rabbit. And bunny rabbits, what? They travel underground. Everything is happening underground. It's not above the ground. It's underground. That's why they fighting so hard, because they don't think these people are going to find what they have going on underground. Y'all double tap that screen, y'all. Let's go.
For the alleged offenses. Sigrid McCauley, whose law firm has represented hundreds of Epstein survivors, applauded the move, saying Zorro Ranch had been overlooked by federal investigations.
Many of the survivors had experiences in New Mexico, and as we've learned, there were local politicians and other people that were aware of what was happening in New Mexico. So it's really important that at this point in time, a closer look is taken with respect to that property.
So that's happening right now, everybody. They're about to go inside of the Zorro Ranch. They're about to go inside Zorro Ranch. That's why Donald Trump right now is under so much pressure. And he making all these moves, gang, trying to distract. But they're not going to be able to distract the gang. It's all about to get ready to come out, y'all. Band-Aid gang, it's all about to get ready to come out. I told y'all it was all going to happen, y'all. I told you, without a doubt, that this was going to come. Everything that we have said on this channel has came to manifest. I don't know how long some of y'all been here, but hey, all my day ones that been in here in the building with me, gang, they know. They know. Everything that we said. And Pam Bondi is on the chopping block. On the chopping block. She is next, gang. She is next to go. She is next to go. Let's go, Band-Aid gang.
Free iPhone 11 for California residents. If you have CalFresh, Medi-Cal, or SSI, you may qualify.
Be respectful
Plus up
in the
to
chat,
10
gang.
gigabytes
Be
of data
respectful in the
included.
chat.
It has to be a choice
Let's
at
go.
some point.
Let's get to it.
It's over the weekend, and an MS Now analysis found in the release of just 20 documents comprising of fewer than 1,000 pages, the first or last names of at least 21 known or suspected survivors were exposed. Some of these names were left unredacted multiple times. This new release coming after reports that the DOJ withheld and removed documents related to a woman who had made accusations against President Trump. The president has denied any wrongdoing. Our next guest is one of the survivors whose name was divulged in this newest release. Danielle Bensky is joining us now. And Danielle, I know this is now the third release where your privacy has not been respected. Yeah. What is it like to have this happen over and over and over again?
It's horribly distressing for survivors because, we've had so many conversations with the Democrats, the Republicans, we're in offices and we're constantly saying how important the redaction process is and getting it right is. And you would think that after twice already, especially after the last release where, our lawyers talked to them, everybody's, there's been so much conversation around this topic. And then to see it yet again on Friday or Thursday, I believe it was, it's really beyond, frustrating, puts it so mildly.
Yeah.
It's gutting. It's gutting when you're scrolling through. It's like, we're all in the files a lot of the time to see what's there, what's not there, and make sure that we're placing everything. And you don't expect to see your name, of course, right? And so as you're scrolling to see your name, it just brings up, it really is a level of PTSD that survivors are met with often.
Because they don't know if they're next.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These people can bring them bodily harm.
Of course, the Justice Department has talked about making mistakes, and these are redaction errors. Do you think these could be redaction errors? Do you feel like the DOJ is operating in good faith?
I really want to believe that. I think, I start to feel like a conspiracy theorist. Because I'm like, there's no way, right? But it does feel like it has to be a choice at some point, because there were so many redactions in that document. Like, it was a document of 580 pages, I believe, and most things are redacted. And then to see my name just blatantly, right there, after my full name was redacted on the top, I don't know. I don't want to believe that it could be to harm survivors.
Like retaliation or something for speaking out?
I don't want to believe that.
That's what I say, retaliation, y'all.
Point, I wonder if it feels like more of a choice, right?
Please double tap the screen.
Certain survivors' names, and I'm not sure.
Keep the video on the algorithm.
I know that it harbors a lot of feelings for survivors, and honestly, it makes a spiral because it brings us right back to that moment of, at that moment, that was a 2008 302. So the 302 is the FBI report from a call that I made. And I just, it just puts me right back in that mindset. So I think overall, the systems have really failed us time and time again. And even back in 2008, I remember law enforcement not really treating us, well, to be honest. I felt like I was always, it was like an interrogation, It wasn't this sense of like, oh, you're a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's. It was so get to the truth, which I understand that they needed to do that. But there was so much fear involved at that age. And so just reading it again and knowing that, the world shouldn't have access.
Thank you for
to
the lights, 22 in the building. Let's let our lights match our views.
And so it's exhausting to constantly tell lawmakers that.
And yet you've continued to speak out because I know you want this to be done right.
Yeah.
You want justice and accountability. You want transparency. You want to be believed clearly. Now the House Oversight Committee has voted to subpoena the Attorney General over handling of these files. The political pressure is really building. You're hearing some Democrats saying that she needs to go this coming after.
Pam Bondi is subpoena, gang. There's no way out. With her performance that she did, there's no way out. They about to start dropping like flies, gang. That's why she's everywhere.
The ouster of Secretary Noem last week. What questions would you like to see Bondi answer? And do you think she should lose her job?
Now listen to this, y'all.
I mean, I think she needs to answer why the redactions have been done so poorly. At every turn, she said that a group of lawyers have been doing it. I almost would feel better if she said AI was doing it and just didn't catch it. And if that is the truth, that she needs to reveal that. We just really need some answers, and we're so tired of just asking questions and not being met. I mean, I think that's she needs to answer the questions before I think survivors can say whether she should be impeached or not.
In recent weeks, we have seen former Prince Andrew arrested in connection with the Epstein files. We had the depositions of the Clintons. And now in the coming months, other high-profile figures are expected to testify, including Bill Gates. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has agreed to appear for a transcribed interview. Do you feel like the wheels of justice are turning?
I think so.
Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like the wheels are turning right now for us. Because I really do. Look who's on the chopping block, Band-Aid gang. Look who's all on the chopping block. Hold on. Look who's all on the chopping block. Look how many people got to go.
Andrew arrested in connection with the Epstein files. We had the depositions of the Clintons. And now
look how many people got to go, y'all.
High-profile figures are expected to testify, including Bill Gates.
We got Bill Gates on the chopping block. Oh, major. That's major. May 19th. Bill Gates on the chopping block, y'all. Pay attention. We got Bill Gates. We got Ted White on April 21st. So y'all go ahead and get y'all phones out. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna have Kash Patel. Them the main names I'm looking for. I want Kash and Bondi up there, gang. But we know her day is coming. So let's go ahead. Let's keep going.
Secretary Howard Lutnick has agreed to appear.
Lutnick, that's a major name.
Do you feel like the wheels of justice are turning?
I think so. I think it's important to remember that there are just so many layers to this story, and
they
so many
gotta go.
You're right, Laura. And we're getting to the ugly truth of a lot of it, and that feels good in some respects, but also just it's complex, and we need to remember that. But I think as we continue to see more people subpoenaed, I think we gain more answers. So yeah, that feels good.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you
and
so
it's
much.
good to see your smile.
Thank you.
Best of luck always. Thank you.
So let me show y'all this major clip right here, because this is going to speak some volumes for everybody, y'all. It's going to speak some volumes for you guys. I think everybody should see this right here, because
welcome to the GED Academy.
During this right here, you guys, Band-Aid gang, let me go ahead. And Pam Bondi, she's going to get her revenge on Donald Trump, gang. Oh, yeah. She's going to get her revenge on Donald Trump. Believe me. These people are not going down alone. You got to remember that. These people ain't going down by themselves, gang. These people are not finna go down by themselves, gang. Trust and believe. They are not about to go down by themselves. So we're going to get this video ready for you guys. Everybody to check this video out. Because right here, y'all, this right here.
I'm going to show you 2 photos of former Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. Under the law Congress passed,
now listen to this, y'all.
You are allowed to redact photos.
Now listen to this.
Protect the victims of Epstein's sex trafficking
listen
operation.
To this.
You redacted the photos of this victim's face because you were following the congressional law. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, that we redacted the victim's
because you were following the congressional law, correct?
She's out of here.
You have now established that we.
Thank you for the likes. She's out of here.
We are looking at a sex trafficking victim.
Now, did y'all hear
Under
that?
the Federal Victims Trafficking Protection.
Say it again. Say it again, Band-Aid Gang. We are looking at right here a sex trafficking victim. They know that. This is so what we know now that they're not playing. They're not, this is not somebody that's just, laying on the floor, Band-Aid Gang. This ain't somebody that's just laying on the floor. Double tap the screen, hit the like button, y'all. This is actually a victim. And pay attention to her wrist. If you have been watching any of my videos, if you've been watching any of my live, y'all, pay attention to her wrist. On her wrist is a big old watch. They say Epstein kept track of all his victims that he sex trafficked with a watch. The watch was a tracker. Double tap my screen. Let me cook. The watch was actually a tracker. That's why the watch is so big. If you've been paying attention to the Epstein files, then you know that they say he kept all his victims with a watch on, okay? So, tell me, Band-Aid Gang, we got 27 likes, thank you guys. Tell me that they don't know that they lining this woman up. It's over. She has to go. Hey, G-Money. So, listen to what? This woman is a victim. She's just not a person we just gonna lay on the floor and play doctor. No, this is a victim, y'all.
Please put the photos back up. We are looking.
Pam Bundy's about to lose her job, gang.
Victim. Under the Federal Victims Trafficking Protection Act, not only is Jeffrey Epstein guilty, but anyone who patronizes Epstein's sex operation is also guilty of a crime. That's why I find.
Did y'all hear what he said? They're also guilty of a crime. She's guilty. And you know who she's going to fall back on? Donald Trump. Double tap the screen. Y'all get in here. Let's all remember that Biden sat on the files for 4 years. And you know what, Marty? You're absolutely right. Because this is not the bias channel. And you know what? Obama had him too. That's why I keep telling you, when you come over here, I am not biased to nothing. It is actually true because all these people take an oath. You got some good apples and you got bad apples. So what we doing now is separating the good from the bad. If you ask me, I think we need to get rid of all these old people and bring in the new. Let's go.
Absolutely despicable that you sought to protect Epstein's clients like former Prince Andrew. Last
Hey,
July,
Rudy, watch your mouth. I'll give you a Chinese name called One Gone.
Epstein's abusers. The July 2025 memo from your Department of Justice stated, quote, "We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties." These two photos, please put the photos back up. These two photos staring you in the face are evidence of a crime and more than enough evidence to predicate an investigation against former Prince.
She don't even want to look. She's so guilty. See her body language and everything messed her up. All of this behavior, gestures that she's making, like she does not care, totally messed her up.
Andrew, so I ask you, Attorney General Pam Bondi, why did you shut down this investigation last July, and why have you not prosecuted former Prince Andrew?
I don't believe you asked Merrick Garland these questions.
So did you hear that? So that means what he is saying basically is that she knew Prince Andrew was in here and she still shut it down. And guess what? She also knew that that person that is laying on the floor under Prince Andrew is a victim.
When he was Attorney General and set before.
I agree with you.
You twice.
I've been playing that time. I agree with you. I agree with you. During the Biden administration, I called for people looking at Epstein files. Merrick Garland dropped the ball, as did Attorney General Bill Barr.
The same way Pam Bundy did.
A whole string of failures, but you are in charge. You have the power to change things, to hold these men accountable, and you're doing the opposite. You're protecting them. So I want to move on to another man.
Can I answer
Donald
that?
Trump. I want to move on to another question.
Can I answer your question about protecting?
You answered the question.
You're saying no. I love this.
I want to discuss another man, Donald Trump, who is all over the Epstein files.
Exactly. Let's go.
Like former friend. Here's the video. Andrew.
Now, you know they're a bunch of cornballs with money. Cornballs with money. The money talk, because the looks and all that shit ain't hitting on
Another
nothing.
man, Donald Trump, was all over the Epstein files.
They money talk, bullshit run a marathon.
Here's a video. Like former Prince Andrew, Donald Trump attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
Look, y'all.
This is so ridiculous.
That right there, done data. That right there made her lose her job. Right there. That's a famous moment right there. Your reaction to everything. We saw this yesterday. Let's go, gang.
And that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency. He's the one that asked that those files.
I'm reclaim my time. I got your answer. You said there's no evidence.
Trump asked
Chairman, please stop the clock. Stop the clock.
The legislation. This is
Time belongs to the gentleman from California.
Okay. I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath, and this is on videotape. You said there's no evidence of crime. I'm showing you.
It don't
here
seem
is
a crime to you
witness
because you got
statement
power,
who called
but
into
you committed a
the
crime.
FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop the limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide.
Did you hear that? She later had her head taken off. That's just one. That had her head taken off so it would not surface. So not only that, allegedly, these guys are murderers, gang. These guys are murderers. They will unalive you. So every victim that didn't get their face redacted, how do you think they feel? Someone put in the chat, he gets paid too much to be a... Hey, watch it. Watch it. Let's go, gang. Be careful.
No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness. You need to interview this witness immediately.
Bingo.
Epstein should rot in hell. So should the men who patronized his operation. And as we say here today, there are over 1,000 sex trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you. If you had any decency, you would resign right after this hearing concludes.
Bingo. Resign. Get up out of here. You are gone. You are gone. You are gone. Band-Aid gang, y'all run them likes up. Double tap that screen. Thank y'all. We got 34 in here and 30 likes. We need four more likes, y'all. Let's keep our video in the algorithm. Let's go, gang.
Now, these are obviously imper redactions.
And let me stop for a minute.
I'm talking.
If they're not privileged,
quiet.
Don't yell at me. If they're not
Mr. Chairman, would you stop the clock?
This
is on your time. It's not on Mr. Goldman.
Even though
you used your improper redaction
you'll like my answer.
to continue to protect
time
belongs to the member.
Congressman Dan Goldman just
now
brought the receipts to a hearing with Attorney General Pam Bondi, and she completely fell apart.
Bingo.
He walked in with actual documents from the Epstein files that Bondi is hiding from the public, held them up and asked her point blank why she's protecting Trump and exposing survivors. And when she couldn't answer, she started yelling at him and holding up mugshot of immigrants like
Bingo.
that somehow changes the subject.
And
Check
it
this
doesn't.
out.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Bondi, I went over to the department yesterday for a couple of hours to review some of the unredacted materials. And I am looking forward to your detailed explanation for why you have withheld almost half of the documents, which is required by the bill. Now, obviously, there are 3 million.
This is history. These are big crimes. This is history, y'all. You watching history right here. This is history, bro. Ain't nothing as big as this. This president has been in the office and made nothing but total chaos.
Documents, so I didn't get through much. But one thing I didn't see was the client list that you said you had on your desk a year ago. I did, however, find a couple of important documents. An 86-page prosecution memo from the Southern District of New York and a draft indictment from Florida against Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirators. For reasons that I cannot understand nor are permitted by the bill, they were still redacted, even for members of Congress. So, Ms. Bondi, will you commit right here to immediately providing those 2 documents in unredacted form to members of Congress? Not a complicated question.
Well, I guess it is for you because you have a law degree and those are privileged.
Okay.
Now, you see that, y'all? She said it was privileged. Privileged, y'all. They making up laws as they go, gang. They making up laws as they go. So now we got privileged laws, gang. Now we got privilege to do whatever we want to. That don't make no sense. Hey, did y'all go check your gas prices? Did you go see how high gas is right now? Because of this war? And they done ran off with all our money and still raised the gas prices on us, gang. Then took us to war, raised the gas prices, but they didn't money laundered their ass off. I said, damn. They done did us all type of way. You know who the peons is? We are. And then we still got people out here in America that's giving this a pass, that's gun-ho for Donald Trump. If you was doing right, then you would not be in this type of mess, gang. If this country was being ran correctly, this type of stuff would not be on social media right now. So there should not be nobody out here that's really holding Trump by his balls. Yeah, I'm going to hold the ball. You can't hold his balls for this because I'm telling you, gang, this stuff right here, if this country was being ran correctly, then we would not be seeing what you guys are seeing right now on social media. Please double tap the screen. Let's go.
They're not privileged, but we will discuss that later.
Privileged?
I also found an email that I have right here from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell that was unredacted. And it included notes of statements that Donald Trump made about his prior relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Now look, y'all.
Now, there is no reason for this to be hidden from the American people. There is no privilege.
So what is that telling you? They know what's on there. They lining her up. So they just taking their time with doing this, gang. They holding, but you know what? These people need to go to prison. These people need to go to prison for their actions. They would have sent me and you, gang, all us people, even the people that's going for it, you would have went to prison. Let's go, gang. Hit the like button. Let's go.
There is no attorney-client privilege, and I see you're checking with your staff, and I can assure you, staff, this is not under attorney-client privilege because it was sent from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Uh-oh.
Will you commit to publicly providing the unredacted version of this so that the American
I don't think they will go to
can
prison.
Understand the extent of Donald
I
Trump's
think they'll lose their job
about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein?
You're about as good of a lawyer today as you were when you tried to impeach President Trump in
Look
2016.
at the deflection,
Have you
y'all.
apologized
This
for that in 2019?
So, will you unredact this? Will you
were
unredact
lead
this?
counsel on that. Privileged.
I'm asking you, will you unredact this?
Privileged.
Privileged, of course.
Smart, bud.
I look forward to discussing this more.
So if you just watch that and you're thinking, what the hell just happened? Let me break it down for you. Because what you just saw was a sitting attorney general who got caught red-handed protecting the president and retaliating against Epstein survivors. And when she got called out for it, she melted down. He found an email from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell that includes notes of statements Donald Trump made about his prior relationship with Epstein. An email from Epstein to Maxwell about Trump's own words describing their relationship.
Bingo.
And that email is redacted. It's being hidden from the public. Goldman asked Bondi directly,
Did you hear
will
what
you
he
commit
said?
to publicly
It's
providing
being
the
hidden from
unredacted
what?
version of...
It's being hidden from the public. You see, they only let us see so much. It's being hidden from the public, but it's not hidden from them. Hell nah, they already know, gang. They already know. So all you people, these people already know.
So the American people can understand the extent of Donald Trump's lies about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And Bondi refuses. She says it's privileged. Attorney-client privilege. Except it can't be attorney-client privilege because the email wasn't between a lawyer and a client.
Bingo.
It was from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Now, these are obviously improper redactions.
And let me stop for a minute.
I'm talking.
If they're not privileged,
quiet.
don't yell at me. If they're not
Mr. Chairman, would you
privileged,
stop the clock? This is on your time. It's not on Mr.
If
Gomez.
they're not
Even though
privileged,
you used your improper redactions,
you'll like my answer.
to
If we
continue
review
to
them and they're not
protect
privileged,
Time belongs to the
we will
member.
be happy to release them.
We'll stop the clock. We'll stop the clock. Time belongs to the member. Go ahead.
even though you used improper redactions to protect Donald Trump and other predators associated with Jeffrey Epstein, you did the exact opposite thing with the survivors and victims of this scheme. So their identification information was really the only thing required to be redacted, and it was not. And it's clear this was not a mistake. This was not by accident. This was not because you only had 30 days and you really used 75, and that doesn't even include all the hours last March that you were redacting it. But I'll tell you why it's clear it wasn't a mistake. There is an email entitled Epstein Victim List.
Uh-oh.
There are 32 names. One is redacted. 31 are not. So someone looked at it and decided to redact something.
Redact them.
And I will tell you that that is clearly intentional to intimidate these survivors and victims. Now, in an interview last week...
How will you tell me that's intentional?
In an interview last week, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche...
You can't go off script.
...said that any victim that wants to speak with the department has done so, hopefully. Well, thanks to the incredibly brave people sitting here behind you, we can actually ask them if that's true. Now, would the survivors and victims who are here please stand up one more time? Just by show of hands, how many of you or your loved ones actually have met with the Department of Justice and provided testimony and evidence? None. And of those of you who have not met, which is everyone, how many of you have reached out either individually or through a lawyer or representative to offer to provide testimony and evidence? All of them. And of those all of you who have reached out, how many of you were denied or ignored by the Department of Justice?
All of them.
All of them. And despite the shameful and despicable efforts by Ms. Bondi and her department to intimidate you, how many of you are still willing to speak to the Department of Justice? All of them. Well, Ms. Bondi, it looks like you have some more witnesses to talk.
And the sad part about it is that these are women victims. And guess who else became a victim? 2 other women so far. Who are the 2 other women, C-Dub? Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem. Those women should have had some kind of empathy for those victims. They should have had some type of empathy for those victims because they were women. And they showed no care for what those women went through. At all. And guess what? Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem has took a fall for Donald Trump. by a man. Women took a fall and was sex trafficked, and these women took a fall and lost their jobs.
Fired. And I yield back. We will go to the good gentleman from North Carolina, Congressman Knott. Thank
May
you.
I have a moment, Congressman?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Imagine how she's
Here we
feeling
go.
right
Here's
now.
the photograph.
She's feeling
This is
so
why
stupid.
He wanted to repeat everything that had been said previously on Epstein. This is his state, New York. You probably don't even know who this is. Wahid Mohammed from Afghanistan.
Yes, because I'm no.
Now we talk about a man from Afghanistan. Instead of the people that are in our country, the females, this is about sex trafficking. This is about the Epstein files. This is not about this dude on the picture.
A prosecutor.
Convicted of assault. Wow, he represents New York.
Assault?
Wow, yet he doesn't care about the illegal aliens.
How many people get assaulted in America every day? Every day people are getting assaulted in America. Hell, road rage is assault, if you ask me.
Crimes, assault and homicide. No longer a prosecutor, so he doesn't care about his constituents. Here we go. Arson, El Salvador, Miguel Palacios. Fermin Flores Ramales, Mexico, rape.
Let's talk about the 70% of
What
it.
about Donald Trump? Ain't he been on the chopping block for grape too? I said, damn, let's go.
Immigrants who are detained without a criminal conviction or arrest.
Stop the clock. Stop the clock. Time belongs to Congress.
There's no lawyer in that exchange. There's
At
no
all.
privilege. And then Goldman gets to the worst part, the survivors. Because while Bondi is using improper redactions to protect Trump and other predators, she did the exact opposite with the people
And about to
Epstein
lose her
actually
job,
victimized. Check this out. The Justice
And about
Department
to
has
lose her
argued
job,
that it has been transparent in its review of documents, and redactions have been necessary to protect Epstein's victims. Although some victims' names were made public as part of the release, prompting Georgia Democrat Hank Johnson to accuse the department of being sloppy and incompetent. Bondi said
I consider that more than sloppy, y'all.
and that the department would make corrections immediately if necessary. She attributed the errors to the painstaking work of going through millions of files in just a matter of weeks. So Bondi's excuse is that they went through millions of files and made some mistakes. Okay, let's test that.
Republicans began to see the unredacted files only to find even more redactions. And the Justice Department spied on those lawmakers making searches and to see the unredacted file.
Look at that redaction right there. They took the whole goddamn picture. I wonder who was on that. They didn't just made that all black. That's all black. I wonder who on that motherfucker. That's somebody. If that's somebody, they left the writing up there and left. Look at this, gang. This is ridiculous.
Only to find even more redactions. And the Justice Department spied on those lawmakers making searches,
in her book, y'all.
something that caused even Speaker Mike Johnson to condemn the administration. And speaking of the DOJ, Pam Bondi acted more like a campaign surrogate than the Attorney General. She refused to answer basic questions about her handling of this case and of the files.
Goldman found a document titled Epstein Victim List, 32 names on it. 1 was redacted, 31 were not. Think about that. Someone at the Justice Department looked at a document literally called Epstein Victim List, decided to redact 1 name out of 32 and left the other 31 completely exposed. That's not a mistake.
That's not a mistake. That's a scare tactic. That's an actual scare tactic. They wanted them women to be scared to death. They did not want them women to go up and testify because they were scared. They were scared. They did that purposely, y'all.
Not an accident. That's not because they only had 30 days and were rushing. Someone made a decision to protect one person and expose 31 others. And the only thing those 31 people have in common is that they're survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse. Goldman calls it what it is, intentional intimidation.
We calling it the Epstein
the survivors into the room. Literally, he has them stand up and he asks them directly, how many of you or your loved ones have actually met with the Department of Justice and provided testimony and evidence? Check this out, Rep. Dan Goldman noted that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche recently claimed that all Epstein victims who wanted to speak to federal authorities have done so and asked those in attendance to stand up and raise their hand if any of them have met with the Department of Justice and provided testimony. None did.
That episode may have pleased an audience of one, and even that is uncertain, but it backfired with MAGA.
Pam Bondi is a horrible speaker.
Bingo.
She made an absolute ass of herself. This is one of the most embarrassing things I've ever witnessed from a lawmaker.
I've personally lost all faith in our justice system. It is a system of injustice.
I ain't cutting Trump any slack. Now that we know that they've covered up the co-conspirator documents, I would say is shocking to the conscience that Trump called it a hoax. Shocking.
Then Goldman asked how many of them reached out to the DOJ to offer testimony. All of them. Every single one. They tried to cooperate. They wanted to help. And then Goldman asked how many of them were denied or ignored by the Department of Justice. All of them. So, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche went on TV and said, any victim that wants to speak with the department has done so. And that was a lie. A room full of survivors standing in front of Congress just proved it was a lie. They all tried. They were all ignored. And instead of protecting their identities, the DOJ exposed 31 of them in the document release while hiding the names of the powerful men who abused them. And Bondi has no answer. She doesn't dispute it. She doesn't deny it. She doesn't explain why they ignored the survivors. Instead, she waits until Goldman's time expires. And then she pulls out a stack of mugshots of immigrants and starts yelling about how Goldman doesn't care about illegal aliens convicted of crimes. That's not a defense. That's a deflection. She got caught protecting Trump, hiding co-conspirator names, and exposing survivors to retaliation. And when she couldn't explain it, she changed the subject to immigration because she knows she has no answer. And let's talk about the client list for a second because this connects to something Bondi said a year ago. Check this out. During a February 21st interview on Fox News, host John Roberts asked whether DOJ would release a list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? Roberts asked. Bondi responded, it's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. So a year ago, Bondi said the client list was sitting on her desk. She said Trump directed her to review it. And now she's the attorney general and suddenly the client list doesn't exist anymore. Goldman asked her about it directly. He said he went through the documents and didn't see the client list
now,
you said you had on your desk a year ago.
I really
Bondi has no response.
Everybody, because I just wanted to, I set up something on my timeline, right? And I wanted everybody to see this. I made it. It's in my videos. I played it in the beginning, but I'm gonna play it again. Because a lot of people wasn't in here before I played it. But it's a gesture that Kash Patel said. Well, it basically just blew everything for these people, gang. And that's gonna show you again that Kash Patel is actually going to be on the chopping block. And this is a major key right here. I want to show everybody this real quick before we get ready to close out. I just wanted to spend an hour because also I wanted to let everybody know that's in here. I will be not on as late as I did. This was a rush live because the breaking news was actually that they're about to go inside of the Zorro Ranch. They're going inside the Zorro Ranch now. So I've been talking tunnels. I got on here talking tunnels from the beginning. The tunnels was revealed. Everything I said has been revealed. I do have something in my pocket. I got 3 other lives lined up. I just ended up having a late finish today. I'm a driver for people that know. So my schedule was thrown off. So I wasn't able to put my 3 upcoming lives up. But I do have some content for everybody, but I want everybody to get ready to watch this right here, y'all.
So before you joined the FBI, you railed against it for covering up Jeffrey Epstein's human trafficking ring. Let me refresh your memory with this clip.
So he railed against it, and it was for covering up. So now look, gang. Now look.
It has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost.
Pay attention to Kash Patel's face. He's gonna nod his head like, yeah, I did it. Look.
Predator, that seems like an evil thing to do.
He said he hit a predator.
Refresh your memory with this clip.
It has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release.
Pay attention to the body language. Did he just not shake his head saying, he said, you protected a predator. He shook his head and said, yes. I protected a predator. He's on the chopping block next too. I think Kash Patel on drugs, gang. Kash Patel on drugs, gang. And who goes in and says that? Look, let's go, Band-Aid gang.
Refresh your memory with this clip.
has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Now watch what he says.
Simple, because of who's on that list.
So you finished.
Bingo. They're protecting him because of what? Did y'all just hear that Band-Aid game? Because who's on that list? Oh, this is a classic. He nodded his head yes twice. So what does that do? That convicts who? Pam Bondi. That what he just did right there convicted himself and Pam Bondi. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Need I say more? I really ain't have to even play much, but I want to play that little kid at the end, gang, because the shit is real and that speaks volumes. Double tap my screen. Double tap the screen, y'all. Let's keep the video in the algorithms. The man nodded his head. This is a classic. Him nodding his head saying yes. Y'all saw it in real time. Convicted him. Now we already got Christy Nome. She's gone. It's going to be Pam Bondi, him, Howard Lutnick. He's going to be up out of here too. He's gone too. Right there. And somebody said, yeah, I think he's on drugs. He got to be on drugs. Look how geeked he look. He look geeked. Now look at this, y'all.
Refresh your memory with this clip.
It has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it.
Look.
That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do.
Who shakes their head and say yes? You see how good God is? God, yup. You're protecting a predator. He just said, yep, I'm protecting a predator. And then at the end, he says he did it because who's on the list? So what did he just do? Bingo. We beat you again. I said, damn. You know I'm going to close out with a good one, gang. I got to go out with a bang. So look. When he said that, he low-key threw Donald Trump up under the bus. Because who's on that list? Who could he be talking about? Because who's on that list? Donald Trump. Donald Trump. That's who's on the list. So he low-key throwing Donald Trump under the bus. Right there. Because who's on the list? Last time, and I'm going to the end.
Refresh your memory with this clip.
It has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
So you finished that December.
Bingo. Because who's on that list? Who's on the list, y'all? Donald Trump. Now look, y'all. This right here is sad to me. And now we know Pam Bondi. We're going to get this right here. Yeah, we're going to get this right. Let's go.
5 Republicans joined ranks with Democrats to support the subpoena. NBC News
Thank
reached
you
out
for the
to
likes,
DOJ
y'all.
for comment.
We need 2 more likes. Let's at least hit 40. Now listen.
Again to the party.
Now this reminds you of Sasha Riley. This reminds you of Sasha Riley, y'all. Kids don't lie. Kids tell the truth, gang. Kids don't lie. Everything this kid says. Now listen, y'all.
My dad kills babies and he eats the meat.
Okay.
He said, my daddy unalives babies and eats the meat. That kid ain't telling no story. And then what they do, they inject the child to put the child to sleep. But you know the sad part is how they was doing him. They was beating him. They was molesting him. That is a damn shame. What up, Apology? That is a damn shame. The little boy said, my dad eats
NBC News reached
children,
out to the
gang.
DOJ for comment, but have yet to
That
hear
little
back.
child is not lying.
Again to the party.
My dad kills babies and he eats the meat.
Okay, well, let's just talk about the party. Okay, so the party. What was the party like?
I don't like the party.
Why not?
They touched me. Who? Kicked me.
They touched him. They kicked him. These are rich people, man. Rich, immature people, gang. In the ball. This is a cult. I told you, they are a part of the ball. Human sacrifices. Eating babies, gang. That's hard to believe, man, in America. But see, they have been talking about this type of stuff going on for years. But they call us conspiracy theorists. But now, the people that didn't believe you, all you people that was considered conspiracy theorists, now the people didn't believe you, now they sending you videos and shit. Now they sending you videos like, hey, look at this. Now they sending all the conspiracy theorist people. Now the people that doubted them is sending them videos. Somebody said replay. So we gonna go back and replay, gang. Now listen to this.
My dad kills babies and he eats the meat.
Okay, well, let's just talk about the party, okay? So, the party, what was the party like?
I don't like the party.
Why not?
Look.
They touched me.
Who?
Kicked me. My front privates, they hurt me. So when
they kicked him in his private, gang. So I don't care what nobody's sitting up here trying to say. If you say this little kid is telling a story, you ought to be held accountable for your actions. This kid is not telling a story. You can't go back and say this is AI. You can't do none of that. Let's go.
When you stick a big plaster in my bottom, and when it bleeds, if I cry, he like, do you know those spaghetti spoons? Those metal ones. If I cry, he hits me on the head with it.
Okay.
But if I cry more,
so look at the detail. Now we know Donald Trump, report your ass. You need to go to prison for the rest of your life. And all these people in the government that's protecting these people for this type of action. This what kills me right here. When the little boy describes the paddle, the spoon. That's how you know it's real, because he described the spoon. He could have said it was a wood spoon, but he said it's like a wood spoon, but it's metal. That's when you knew the boy was telling the truth. Let's go, gang.
spaghetti spoons. Those metal ones. If I cry, he hits me on the head with it.
Okay.
But if I cry more, he hits me again. But if I cry more, the nurse teacher is smart and she injects me a seed injection in my neck.
They put an injection in his neck, gang. We got 75 in here. Double tap the screen, y'all. Let's get it up. So they inject the little boy and put him to sleep. They inject the little boy with a needle and they put the little man to sleep, gang. So he wakes up again and goes through it all again. And you know what's so sad about it? The kids don't remember the pain like that. So as they get older, they remember the pain, but they don't remember the pain. But earlier in their life, they suffer. They suffer and they do not remember the pain because it happened to them when they were young. And this is part of the program that they do. I said, damn, double tap the screen. 80 in here. Let's go. About time. Y'all want to come in here when I'm about to get ready to get off. But I'm giving y'all pure facts. That little child is not telling a story, y'all. He is telling the truth. And this is what's been happening in America for decades. Human sex trafficking. Little children coming up missing. Women can't walk to the car, get snatched up, thrown in the trunk, take across the border. Now, allegedly, I showed y'all already. Now, the guy, now I'm going to show you. Now watch this. I had it in a short. I'm going to show you one of my shorts. And it makes sense. It makes sense. This makes a lot of sense. Tell me this don't make sense. Because we know, let me get to it. Because we know that what happened to the cartel guy in Mexico, right? So the cartel guy in Mexico, now this is just rumor, right? They call it rumor. So, but let's look at this though.
Girl, word on the curb and word on the street, rumor has it, and supposedly, allegedly, I gotta cover my ass on this one. The reason why they killed El Mencho, the leader of the cartel in Mexico, is because he was child trafficking and selling human organs. And he had a client list of 211 people. And on that list, there are 17 current sitting members of Congress in the U.S. that used to buy from him for cannibalism and rituals.
Bingo. Put a 1 in the chat if you can believe that. Because the government gave Mexicans the intelligence to find them right around when the Epstein files come on. And we know, nothing to the Hispanic brothers, but we know that the Hispanic people practice that type of stuff. Sometimes notice that we take children from here and we switch them over to the Mexicans over there in Mexico. And they traffic over there. They also do those rituals. So allegedly, and that made sense, gang. It makes sense. Listen.
Girl, word on the curb and word on the street, rumor has it, and supposedly, allegedly, I gotta cover my ass on this one. The reason why they killed El Mencho, the leader of the cartel in Mexico, is because he was child trafficking and selling human organs. And he had a client list of 211 people. And on that list, there are 17 current sitting members of Congress in the U.S. that used to buy from him for cannibalism and rituals. Girl, and that's why Mexico used U.S. intelligence to take him out. Because the U.S. doesn't want that list to come out. Girl, this is all allegedly, don't come from my head. This is being talked about in Mexico. I'm just saying. Girl, stay tuned. Girl.
They say that it's being talked about in Mexico, but we ain't got the same television they got. You see what I'm saying? So all that stuff, what we see over here is what, you know what I'm saying? We don't see what they see over there. We see what they want us to see. We are being programmed. It's a program, and we're in it. Yeah, we in it. We in the Matrix for real. Yeah, we in the Matrix for real. Whatever they give us, we take it. We go to the grocery store, they give us the food, we take it. And people are going gun-ho? Oh, stop playing with us, Band-Aid gang. Stop playing with us. Make sure y'all subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Thank y'all for the 45 likes. I just wanted to drop a gem. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I got a big one. I might be going. I'm on time tonight. I got my delivery ready to go. So I should be up on the road early in the morning. And I should be done kind of early. So I will set the live. I'll get some thumbnails up. I'll try to get 3 of them up, but I got breaking news on Christy Noem. Yeah, I got breaking news on her. Yeah, I got breaking news. And I'm gonna keep y'all. She said keep going. She said keep going. Well, let me show you something. Let me run it up then. Y'all want to run it up? Y'all want to run it up? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want me to keep going, gang. Because my timeline is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Run it up then, gang. We gonna run it up. We gonna run it up, y'all. Y'all want me to run it up? Now these guys right here. Y'all didn't know about these dudes right here.
And a major
Let me
verdict
put
just
y'all
in
on
tonight
these
in a
guys.
federal sex trafficking trial of 2
Thank y'all. Let me
luxury
put
real estate
y'all on these
brokers
guys
and
right
their
here.
brother.
All my late nighters up in here. Now watch this connect. Here's another connect. Y'all didn't even know this trial was going on. So the trial had been going on Listen to these.
And a major verdict just in tonight in the federal sex trafficking trial of two luxury real estate brokers and their brother. The Alexander brothers found guilty on all charges after being accused of using drugs and their influence to sexually abuse women. They face up to life in prison and are set to be sentenced in August.
Now, did y'all know that was going on? So I'm definitely sure that there's a connection, right? These guys are millionaires. Now listen, both of these twins, and they were drugging women. So I'm sure they was in on transferring women around. Now listen to this.
And a major verdict just in tonight in the federal sex trafficking trial of two luxury real estate brokers and their brother. The Alexander brothers found guilty on all charges.
Real estate brokers. Real estate brokers, gang. They in the real estate. You know, these guys, you know what Lex Wexner and all them was doing? Buying property. Him and Epstein and Trump, they fell out a minute over what? Buying property. I wonder if some of these guys sold some of their stuff to Jeffrey Epstein, right? See now, houses, building. You know what I'm saying? These dudes look like they got a little bit of Jewish in them too. They look like some little Israel guys and shit. You know what I'm saying? It all adds up. Now they gone. See, now they done got them off the street before they get the tail. You see what I'm saying? They got them off the street before they got the tail. That's how they do it. They know what they doing, gang. They know what they doing. They know exactly what they doing. So now here's this. Now look at this, gang. I told y'all, and now it's starting to get into the algorithm.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays because someone
double tap my screen. So let's go, gang. Double tap my screen.
He was an individual that ran the Jalisco New Generation cartel with an iron fist. He was like a dictator. He had these terror schools, and he would go on the internet and recruit people and say, okay, we're hiring security guards. And then they would transport them to these isolated areas in the mountains where they had the terror schools. And they would tell them, you're not going to leave here unless it's feet first. They would teach them how to use weapons, but they didn't use targets. They used human beings. They had to practice cannibalism. And I remember one of them spitted.
Did I not tell y'all? They had to practice cannibalism. So now we seeing, yeah, that guy was practicing cannibalism. And what did they say he was selling? Organs. So the people that he was unaliving, he probably was taking their organs and selling them. Allegedly. See, we didn't know all of that, did we? We didn't know all of that. Somebody put they out here doing Aztec rituals. I know that's real.
And it was full of dirt, and they say, eat it or you're going to die. During the last 10 years, disappearances in Mexico have increased by 200%.
Wow.
200%. And guess where the epicenter of those disappearances is?
Where?
Double tap that screen. Let's go, gang.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Francis. Hope everybody's doing well. All is very good. Very blessed on this end. As always, my friends, all the praise, honor, and glory.
See, we just thought that they went over there and they unalived him. We didn't know what they unalived him for. Hey, get Red up out of here. Give him a Chinese name. Give him one go. Give him a one go Chinese name. Get him up out of here. So now we know it wasn't about no drugs. So they got intelligence from America. Because you know why? Because he could have extorted the government officials. They say it was 12 government officials, allegedly, that he had that was buying body parts for human sacrifice and rituals. Bingo. So now a lot of people didn't know this. So let's go, gang.
To our God for that. I want you to buckle your seatbelts. This is
let's get to
like
it.
I have education. You're going to understand. Other than the fact, listen, if you're
let's get to
Mexico, listen up. Very important. No further delay. My very special guest, Mike Vigil. So my first question before we get into really the main subject matter, in all of your years, and I understand it's about 31 years in very high positions in the DEA, really rose to the top. Have you ever had experience with the mafia, whether it be in the United States or Italy, with respect to, drug movement or drug enforcement?
He looked like
Not with the mafia.
He looked like he'd been eating people
I
too.
primarily worked in Latin America against the Mexican cartels. I worked in Colombia.
MI in the chat
And
said.
then I also worked undercover for.
MI in the chat said, "What can we do?" Ask yourself this question, everybody. What we can do is something we won't do, because we're not living in them times anymore. Everything is a program. So, I'm dropping a little gem on y'all. Everything is a program. So we have been programmed to do what? Look down in our phones. Have no empathy for anybody. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, Band-Aid gang. Put a 1 in the chat. Put another 1 in the chat. Somebody another 1 in the chat. Okay, we right here. So we have been programmed to look down, not up. So if a UFO fly over our head, hell, we wouldn't even know it. But there's people in relationships, right, that sit in the bed and be like, honey, what? Look at this. And we look over, but we don't look at it long anymore because we so now focused on our phones and stuff like that. Sometimes I'm a product of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's what it is. So with that being said, y'all, we don't want to get out and do anything anymore. Everything is brought to us. What can we do is something we won't do. And what that is we can stop buying. We can stop buying. We can stop purchasing things from stores. We can stop doing that, but people are not going to do that anymore. People are not really going to put boots on the ground anymore. You see what I'm saying? So only thing that we can do in this world that we live in is protect our families, love our loved ones, watch our children, and get closer to God. That's it. And expect the unexpected. What do we expect now, gang? All of these people work together. They're from a bloodline. And that's just what it is. So now we know aliens exist. The reptilians exist. The Pleiadians exist. All of the things that we thought did not exist. So now we know people are eating people, bro. People are selling body parts. People are doing children all type of ways. Love on our loved ones. Keep a close knit on everything. That's all we could do. We're the people that's right now, we're in the Epstein era. It's going to be another. This time it's going to come to pass. So all we can do is teach our children. Be glad that we're going through it and the younger generation isn't going through it. That's it. So we can protect the younger generation from it. So what can come in between there? War. What's going to happen is, I think what I think is going to happen, I think that they're going to hack our phones. They're going to hack the banks. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you something right now, Band-Aid gang. I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is a good one real quick. Let me show y'all. Now, we already know about this cannibalism. Y'all said keep going, so I'm going to keep going and just giving y'all a little bit of bits and pieces. But I'm not giving you my show that I'm going to do tomorrow. So let me, somebody said, dude, look like he's ready to transform. Hold on, gang. Y'all ain't right, bro. Hold on. Let me get this real quick, y'all. Y'all ain't right, man. So let me do this real quick.
They will kill you.
I want y'all to pay attention.
Who are you? March 27th.
Watch this, y'all. Now I want y'all to pay attention to this. It's a guy I watch, Israelite TV. He's awesome. He put this out the other day. So I want y'all to pay attention to this real quick. It's really important because they're gonna start probably doing this type of shit, y'all. So this may be another thing. So your money, all your assets, you need to get it real quick. So here you go, gang. Shouts out to Israelite TV, y'all. One of the guys I watch, he's from the sector that I'm from, the Dolph sector.
You're now locked in here. It's like talk.
Y'all subscribe to his channel.
Real. I'm in front of
Now listen to this.
I mean, around the same time, Brent, the global benchmark, soared above $92 a barrel.
Very intelligent brother.
$92.71. Qatar's energy minister telling the Financial Times.
Family. Before I get out in traffic today to go pick up some necessities, right? And you guys need to be stacking up on necessities because of what's going on in the world today, okay? So I'm coming to you guys with a quick banger, okay? And I want you guys to make sure you share this video, okay? Main reason being is that YouTube has me shadow banned. Everybody that's talking about this war and stuff like that is being shadow banned, okay? So I want to break down why you guys need to get your money out the banks, okay? I also want to explain to some of you guys about if you're a celebrity, if you are an athlete, if you are an influencer, okay? You got a big following here on YouTube, X, or whatever the case may be. I want to give you guys some tips before you start talking about the stuff that's going on over there in the Middle East, because a lot of people are getting their accounts closed out. A lot of people are getting, and I'm going to play some of this stuff towards the end of this video when I get to this point. They're talking about how their accounts and stuff are being frozen, with funds and stuff that they're making, the revenue and stuff like that. So I want to break all of this down because the people that's at war is the same people that control all of this stuff. And now it's starting to come to light, and I don't want you getting caught off guard. So I want to give these particular individuals some game before they start talking about this stuff. I don't care, right? I don't really make a whole lot of money off of YouTube anyway, okay? So make sure you guys are sharing this and getting this out to the people. Now, I'm going to put this up on the screen so you guys can read along with me. Now, this was a report, and you can go to RTSG News, right, on X. If you guys are not on X, make sure that you guys are going to X to get a lot of your information. Even though Elon Musk has been compromised, right? You still be able to find a lot of the real information that's going on. If you guys are sitting up listening to state regime media, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, and all of this trash that we got on state regime media, you are going to be lost in the sauce. And when they pull the rug from up under you, you're going to feel the pain. Now, this came from RTSG News, right? Now, listen to this. Breaking. Wall Street perceives American retirement savings in the next financial crash. It is perfectly legal. Source Fox News, right? So what they're saying is, and we're in this financial crisis, right, that they can seize your retirement savings, okay? Now, check this out, okay? This is another piece. And this comes from
just a little brain food, y'all, before we close.
DeFi Wymar, and if I'm not saying his name or her name correctly, I do apologize, right? This came out on the 3rd. This was earlier this week when this war started over here in the Middle East, right? It says, breaking, the Feds will make an emergency $8 billion injection into the market today. Right before the U.S. market opened. Okay, after the Korean stock market crash, this could be the start of a much bigger Fed response. Something really bad may be coming. So what I want you guys to understand is, now follow me here, because that stock market is all theater, right? The Korean markets crashed on the 3rd, right? And on Monday, the UA, they couldn't even open their markets up because they were getting hammered over there. So the stock market should have been bloody red, right? So these people are manipulating the market, and how they're doing it is they're pumping money into the market, right? To make it seem like, oh, everything's fine, everything's good here. But they're pumping the money. They're going to the golden printer, and they're printing up all this money, and they're inflating the market to have you think that the market is doing good and it's up and all of this other shit, right? So follow me, right? So they're pumping, they just print money, pump it in. I'm explaining to you why they're doing this. Okay, now, here's a screen record.
Hey, what up, Doug?
You guys can go look this up. This is on No Limit Games, right? And this came out yesterday, okay? It says something big just happened. BlackRock just blocked investors from pulling their own money out. The world's largest asset manager is telling people, no, you can't have your cash back. Listen to what I'm saying here now. We're going somewhere. BlackRock's 26 billion private credit fund got hit with 1.2 billion in withdrawal requests this quarter. Investors wanted 9.3% of their money back. BlackRock said no, it's capped at 5%, paid out 620 mil, and locked the rest. Okay. Let me just move this up.
Charlie was born into
Now,
wealth, but that didn't last long. His billion.
I'm not gonna tarry on it. Just watch your money, gang, because I've been on for a minute. I just watch your money. You know, we done went all type of ways with this live. I thank the people for wanting me to stay. Thank you very much. Thank you for being interested in what I have to say. Um, but with that being said, watch your money, because I did hear today that Iran was sending sales over here, and they were trying to hack our systems. Okay, and so we just need to be mindful and prepare ourselves, y'all. We need to be mindful and prepare ourselves. That's all I'm saying. Expect the unexpected. So, you know, whatever you can do to protect yourself and your family, your money, your assets, do that. So, again, I'm about to get ready to close. So, like I said, everybody, hit that notification bell. I will be dropping some thumbnails. I kept the exclusive one in my pocket. So, it's breaking news. I haven't seen anybody talk about it yet. So we on the right track, Band-Aid gang. You know, this one I just popped up and did this. I wanted to finish off. It was something that said, get in there and get on Pam Bundy's ass and keep the lineup going and watch the cookies fall, watch them crumble, and watch the patterns. The dominoes are falling. Okay, it all started off, and I'm going to say it again, with Christy Nome. She's gone. Then you saw next on television, you saw Kash Patel and Pam Bundy. They about to go. We already know Lex Wexner probably going to end up being unalived. He going to end up being unalived because he had the most money in behind Epstein. So we already know that. So again, y'all, tomorrow I will set the time. I'll have the thumbnail. I won't let you down, MI. I won't let you down. This was a sloppy one to me. It's not one of my best performances, but, you know, I came up, I showed up. I didn't want to let this day go by without, you know, at least going and talking to my people, because I usually go on every day and you know, so it becomes a habit, becomes, you know, just a habit to get on here. It's reflex. So, you know, with that being said, it was kind of late. I'm on the West Coast. I'm in California, San Diego right now. So, you know, I'm here. Beautiful day today. Y'all get ready for the rainy season. It's here. The winter time is gone. So, you know, get ready, ladies. Get ready to put on your little nice sundresses and stuff like that. Fellas, get yourself freshened up and just, you know, try to just not, you know, live your life still right. Don't get caught up in too much of this stuff, because you still got to live your life. You still got to live your life. We cannot control our destiny. It was already written, but we can change it in certain ways. We can talk positive things into the ethers, and we can get justice. So with that being said, please spam that like button, lay on it, step on it, just double tap it before y'all leave. I want to thank you guys for the 53 likes. I'll take that. 31 people still hung in here until I closed out. Thank you guys. Make sure you sub up to that channel, gang. This is Band-Aid Gang. I'm C-Dub, Mr. I ain't said a word, but you know what I'm saying. And I said, damn, with the real angel, and we beat you, Band-Aid Gang. Thank you guys for pulling up on me tonight, y'all. I really do appreciate it. Just tap in. I'm going to drop 3 thumbnails tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to focus on, because I already got the live already lined up. So I'm going to put 3 upcomings up. Let y'all know I'm on my grind like I'm supposed to be. I stay on top of the game like a scoreboard. It's your boy C-Dub, and I'm out. Peace.